Let's do this.
Everybody likes to say they're ahead of the curve, cutting edge, next generation, future ready. But let me ask you this. When something actually happens, do your systems work together, tell the same story, and deliver the right information at the right time? Or do you still rely on someone saying, I think it's in building C? Yeah. Today we define what ahead of the game actually means. And that's coming up next on TiPS, Today in Public Safety.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety. This is Fletch. I'm a NENA certified ENP, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I bring you the latest, most informative, and sometimes controversial takes on emergency communications. Today, we wrap up our fictitious Ivy League campus series. We've talked about fragmentation, the NG911 DMARC, the architecture layer, IoT overload, and the actual role of the campus ECC. Now, today we answer the question everyone is thinking. What does good actually look like? Not marketing, not roadmaps. What does a campus look like when it gets this right? The shift from systems to ecosystem. Well, here's the first thing that changes. You stop thinking in terms of systems, and you start to think in terms of an ecosystem. Not a phone system, not a camera system, not a badge system, but a complete connected environment where everything contributes to a single understanding of what's happening. This is the difference between tools and capability. Real-time incident packages. Let's start with one of the biggest shifts, the idea of an incident package. Instead of a caller describing an event, the ECC receives verified location, associated video, access control data, sensor inputs, and identity context. All of that packaged and delivered together in real time. With the line, you're no longer describing the emergency, you're delivering it. Location that actually means something. Let's fix one of the biggest problems in 911, location. In an ahead-of-the-game environment, location is dynamic, verified, multi-source. You're not just relying on a single device ping or a caller's memory. You're using Wi-Fi positioning, device proximity, building intelligence, and you've got vertical location. And most importantly, attached to all of it is a confidence level, mainly because probably correct isn't good enough. Smart alert routing, not just mass notification. Let's talk for a second about alerts. Most campus environments still operate like this. Something happened, notify everyone. That just isn't smart. That's loud. And in a mature environment, alerts are context aware, location aware, and role aware. What does that mean? Well, it means the right people get the right information, and they get it at the right time. Oh yeah, and they get the right instructions. Not panic, not overload, but precision. Pre-validated dispatch data. Now let's talk about what gets sent to 911. In this model, before anything leaves the campus for the municipal ECC, the data is correlated, validated, and structured. So if it needs to hit the municipal PSAP, it's not, here's what we think is happening. It's, here's what we know, and here's how confident we are. And that changes important things like call handling, dispatch speed, and resource allocation. The digital twin concept. Now, this is an area where it gets a little interesting. A real ahead-of-the-game campus has a living model of itself. A digital twin, if you will. Not just static maps, but real-time status, active incidents, resource locations, and environmental conditions. It's used by the campus ECC. It's used by responders. And it's most valuable to command staff because it allows everyone to look at the same operational picture. Quietly introducing the bigger idea. Now let's connect all of this without naming names. What we've really been talking about in this entire series is the need for a coordinated, intelligent layer sitting between the data being generated and the decisions being made. We need a layer that understands context, a layer that validates inputs, and a layer that coordinates response. Not something that replaces systems, but something that makes them work together. That's called orchestration, and it's the future. Reality check. Now, the cool part about this, most of the technology that we've talked about already exists. What doesn't exist in most places is the architecture and the will to connect it. Really. The bottom line. Being ahead of the game isn't about having the newest tech. It's about having the right information at the right time, in the right place, and making sure it actually reaches the people who can act upon it. Because in public safety, the difference between knowing and guessing is everything. That wraps up today's episode of TiPS, Today in Public Safety. Thanks so much for listening. For more updates and insights, remember to follow me on social media at Fletch911. And you can visit 911tips.com for a complete archive of my previous episodes. My blogs are available online at Fletch.tv, and my professional website is at Fletch911.com. Stay safe, thanks so much for listening, and if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every single day. We'll catch you next time. Take care.
You've been listening to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Catch past episodes on 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG 911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't regret it for the rest of your life. Either way, I'm good.